again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster, welcoming you to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. Well, tonight we've got two outstanding high school coaches and some of their athletes, and we look forward to visiting with them in a few minutes. But right now, as you know, we're into our spring segment where the spring sports are going hot and heavy: baseball, softball, and boys and girls soccer in particular. And just to let you know how good some of the teams are here in the Birmingham-Jefferson County area, I'm going to run over a few of these records, and for the simple reason kids like to know how they're doing, parents like to hear their kids talked about. First of all, in baseball, Class 7A, we got 3 teams in the top 10, Vestavia Hills, Hoover, and Mountain Brook, which bodes well for Class 7A. None in the top 10 in Class 6A baseball, but in Class 5A, Helena is 3rd, and that's baseball. In the softball part of it, in Class 7A, you've got Hoover, you've got Spain Park, Oak Mountain, Hewitt, Trussville, and Thompson all have teams in the top 10. In Class 6A, Gardendale and Chelsea are in the top 10. And in Class 5A, Springville, Hayden, and Moody. So that's some great coverage there by some of the teams here in the Birmingham area of softball and baseball. Soccer, very quickly, the boys. Boy, how dominating soccer is here in the Jefferson County area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams in Class 7A out of the top 10. 7 teams, girls soccer-wise, in Class 7A from here in the Birmingham area. And in Class 6A, there's 4 boys and also 5 girls. So that's, once again, just outstanding soccer being played both by boys and girls. And, of course, we'll be having a lot of those coaches and some of their players as our spring segment rolls on. We're going to take a quick break. We come back, our first guest of the night. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Good driver discount, multi-car discount, good student discount. Helping you save money on car insurance is just part of the service you get from State Farm agent Jack Traffinstead. Whether an accident or a simple question, Jack and his staff get you the help you need. And that's the value only a State Farm agent can provide. Call Jack Traffinstead today. 40 million drivers already know nobody gives more discounts to more drivers than State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their number one objective. And folks, welcome back. As we was talking about in the opening, we got 2 outstanding baseball coaches. The first one sitting beside me tonight, Doug Gann, the coach of the Homewood Patriots. And Coach Gann, before we get into talking about you and your team, for people who haven't seen you in quite a while, tell us about your background and what's led you to being the head baseball coach there at Homewood.
Well, I went to Homewood High School and played for my dad in football and played for him for a year in baseball. And really, that's the only thing I ever knew was coaching and being around athletics. And when I got an opportunity to go to college and play, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And so I was fortunate enough to get into the teaching and the coaching aspect of it. And this is my 24th year and loving it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I knew you'd been there a while. I did not realize it
Well,
was that
I've
long.
only been at Homewood 17 years, but
Okay.
I've been the head coach for 10 and started out in the Hoover system and was at Berry High School and Hoover High School for 7 years total. Then I came to Homewood in 1999.
So you're closing in on that 25 years.
I am. I'm getting close.
Well, let me ask you this. In the last 25 years, how has the athlete changed compared to years prior to that?
Well, I think, now there's so much more specialization. There, when 25 years ago, I don't believe travel ball was in vogue yet, and now, kids are playing travel ball. Some are playing year round, and there's more emphasis on baseball, probably more so now than there was 25 years ago.
Well, I tell you what, and I've had doctors sit right where you are and talk to me about it. The idea of too much baseball playing in one sport is really not good for the athletes. As a matter of fact, and I know in this day and time you have kids don't play the 2 and 3 sport stars like we used to have
Right.
back in yesteryears, the old saying goes. And they tell us that there's positives and negatives to it. The positives, you can probably get as good as you can possibly be.
Right.
The negatives are you can tear up shoulders and arms, especially pitchers.
Oh
and
yeah,
that
no
kind of
doubt.
thing.
I love for our guys to play more than one sport or more than just baseball. I try to, hopefully try to talk them into playing as much as they want to play. The problem is, it's not the kids' fault so much as that our sports seasons overlap so much
Right.
now. We have a basketball player who played in the state championship game, and we've already played 5 to 7 baseball games, and he's having to play catch up, and it's not fair to the kid, but I'm not going to tell him not to play basketball, and so he's got to play catch up.
That calendar year has really changed a lot the
has.
last few years. hasn't it?
Back when I was playing, we didn't start baseball till spring break was either late February or 1st of March,
Right.
and you didn't play till March 6th, 10th, or whatever it was after spring
right.
break
And-
before you started playing. Now some teams have already played 10, 12
Right,
games by
and you
that time.
finish up the end of May.
Yeah,
and now
exactly.
schools are finishing up by the middle of May, not even the end.
Correct.
Well, we'll get away from that part of it, and let's talk about this year's team. I know you've had some successful teams there at Homewood. Going into this year, what did you expect out of this bunch, and are they primarily, is it a senior-laden team, or do you have a good mixture there?
Well, we've got a good mixture. We've got, we're probably half and half seniors and juniors, and we graduated last year. We had probably 8 senior starters, so we knew, this year it was going to be a little different, having to start kind of from scratch. We had 2 basically returning guys that played basically every ball game last year, and so we knew there was going to be early on. There was going to be some growing pains with some guys learning to play at the varsity level, and that's what has happened. We've had some interesting nights and days, and then there's sometimes when there's been days when we've played like we've been playing, been playing together forever. So, but it's been fun. It's always neat to have new guys step in and play and see them grow and mature and get the job done.
Well, now high school baseball is no different from college and professional baseball in the aspect that the nucleus, I think, if a coach could have it happen the way he wanted it to, would be to have a great pitching staff. It all starts with the pitching, because if the other teams don't score much,
That's
your
right.
team always has a chance to win. Talking about those aspects, you've got pitching and your defense and your offense of this year's team.
Well, like I said, we started. We lost basically 7 stars. So from an offensive standpoint, we had basically 2 guys that have had significant plate appearance at the varsity level. So that's been an interesting dynamic, having some guys learn how to handle varsity pitching, see better breaking balls, better off-speed stuff. Defensively, we like our defense, even with the new guys we had replacing. We felt like, the guys replacing them were going to be very adequate and very good with that. And pitching, that was going to be our big question mark, because basically we had 1 guy coming back that threw any varsity innings last year. And so that's been interesting. There have been some days our pitching have been really good, and there's some times that we've kind of had some issues there. But we came off a weekend where we pitched better, and like I said, I think we're heading in the right direction.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, I think coaches of all sports really feel this way about it, but the closer you get to those area games, the closer you get to the playoffs, that's the time you want your teams to peak and be the best they can be.
I agree. A couple of years, even last year, I was real concerned. We played so well coming out the gate, and we won 9, 10, 11 games in a row, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm not sure how much better we can play. And this year, I know we can play better. So that's what I keep telling our guys. We have yet to play our best baseball yet. We've been inconsistent, at times, and hopefully the next 3 to 4 weeks we'll build some more consistency and be peaking at the right time.
Well, you know, one thing that I wonder about too, talk about the strength of your schedule. I know when it comes to scheduling, you're in charge of the schedule
Right.
you make. Are you one of these coaches that believes that you can lose to a good team and still learn from it,
Oh,
get
yeah.
positive lessons from that? In other words, do you schedule more tougher opponents than lighter, for lack of a better way to put it?
You know, I tell people all the time, to me, baseball, there's really no light opponents around Birmingham, Jefferson County, Shelby County. I mean, you can, every night out, you better come ready to play. I was talking to a coach today about it. I mean, it's just baseball is so good around here with everybody. And so there's really no light opponent. So you better come ready to go every day or night out. But you know, playing good people, you know, it helps you because come playoff times, you know, you're going to be playing the best of the best. So you got to be ready to go, and facing good pitching throughout the year will help you hopefully in the playoffs when you're going to face number one, number two, number three from the team you're playing in the playoffs.
And one other important aspect that people don't think about and you hate to have to deal with, how about the injury situation? You've been pretty injury-free this year?
We have, knock on wood. We've been very, blessed. We've been healthy, and hopefully we can stay that way. But like you said, an injury here or there, it can definitely derail you in a hurry.
Well, the one thing about it, and of course, you don't want to injure at any position, but the pitching, you hope the guys go through the unscathed as far as that goes. But Coach, I know you and I have talked about it, had a couple of conversations, and we're all hoping the same thing, that this year's team, that the best is still ahead of them. Because like we talked about just a moment ago, the main thing you hope is that the team is playing as well as it possibly can come playoff time, and that's all anybody can hope for.
That's
and
right.
Then you take your chances. As a matter of
That's
fact,
right.
as the old saying goes, when you get to the dance floor, it's a one-game season. You got to play your best every night, right?
Well, and that's it's evident in this March Madness of the NCAA tournament. I mean, some teams have been getting beat that you would never thought would get beat, but it wasn't their night, and other teams may have been playing better at that particular night. And like I said, hopefully, like I said, you want to be peaking at the right time.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, first of all, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Secondly, we'll hope the same thing
That's
for
right.
you and your players, and you never can tell. Playoff time makes some big noise.
That's right. We will hope to do
We're
that.
going to take a quick break, folks, and when we come back, we're going to be visiting with 4 young athletes, very instrumental in the year that Homewood's had thus far. We'll be right back.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. Now, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors. A company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their #1 objective.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
And folks, welcome back. As you can see, I got 4 outstanding young athletes here that having a pretty good baseball season so far, but I know they all want it to end up on a higher note, playing better than they are right now. And we got 3 seniors and a junior. Sitting closest to me, Carson Griffith, a senior, and your pitcher, catcher, outfielder, very versatile baseball player. Josh Miller, senior, pitcher, first base.
Yes, sir.
John Mark Mullins, the only junior, and you are a pitcher, shortstop?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then finally, John Wildman, a senior, pitcher, outfielder, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Carson, going into this season, thus far, I know you guys are very competitive. You probably feel like the record should be better than it's been thus far. So with that thought in mind, Carson, what did you expect out of yourself personally this year and the rest of your teammates?
Well, as the team, first off, like Coach Gann said, we had a bunch of guys leave that had a big part in our team last year. We knew we were going to go through some growing pains, but got a bunch of guys ready to step up and play, and I think the best baseball is ahead of us. Personally, I knew I kind of bounced around the order last year, and I'm going to have to hit 3-hole this year, and kind of a different challenge within itself, seeing different pitches and playing outfield, pitcher and catcher, just trying to help the team.
Okay. When Josh, I know one of the most important elements of a team, regardless of what sport it is team chemistry. If you guys all like each other, work well together, two things can happen. One, you can be better individually, and two, you'll be better as a team. But if you don't get along, if there's a lot of infighting, for lack of a better way to put it, the chemistry, you can't do that. Talk about the chemistry of this year's team and how you guys get along.
I think personally we get along pretty well. I feel like we have a couple leaders and a lot of followers, which is good and bad in a sense. But it's good, especially with the group we have, because if the couple leaders are doing the right thing, setting the right example, we're not going to have many guys who want to butt heads, but everyone's going to kind of follow suit and work together, which I think is big.
Yeah, well, I think you're right about that. John Mark, curiosity question, pitcher, shortstop, right?
Yes, sir.
Which one do you prefer?
I would have to say short.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Now, having said that, what's the strong suit of your game? Is it your fielding or your hitting?
I would say it goes back and forth, but growing up, I've always been a defensive player, not really too much pop at the plate, but as last year and this year, I've kind of equaled it out, I feel like.
When you're on the mound pitching, are you do you throw pretty hard?
Average.
Average. I was going to say, are you one of these guys that people don't dig in against in case you have a problem throwing inside?
I mean, I just try to hit the spot.
I hear you. And John Wildman, a senior, you're a pitcher and outfielder.
Yes, sir.
So going into this year, what were your expectations for your team, and how do you feel like you guys, what do y'all have to do to turn the curve to get on a real positive road as you head toward the playoffs?
Well, this year we don't have a lot of returning starters. Like we said, Carson was the only one who pitched a lot for us last year, so this year we knew we were all going to have to step up and throw some strikes. We've had some trouble, throwing strikes and stuff like that, but we've been practicing hard, and our mind's right, and we're going to get it done.
Well, let me ask you this too, being a pitcher outfielder as well, which position do you prefer? Are you a starting pitcher?
No, I'm a reliever.
Okay.
I prefer outfield.
Do you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, guys, I found out a little bit about your baseball play. And by the way, and I know Carson plays at least football. Do you play basketball as well?
No, sir.
Just a football, baseball guy. How about you, Josh? Do you participate in any other sports?
If church league basketball counts.
Hey, it counts. You butting heads with people, right?
That's right.
You better believe it counts. How about you, John Mark?
Played basketball up until my 9th grade year, and then I dropped it. Just
concentrating on baseball?
Yes, sir. I wanted to start my sophomore year. So.
Oh, okay. And how about you, John? You put
church basketball.
Well, that's okay. So y'all on the same team?
Oh, we actually were against each other this year.
Oh, you are? Now, that's very interesting. I mean, I'll give you an example, quick example. Vestavia Hoover. Everybody thinks that you guys hate each other. That ain't the way it is at all. Generally, it's the fans or the fanatics. Y'all grow up together. Some go to church together, play on different rec teams together, but go to different high schools. Right. That's sort of neat. Or go to the same high school and play different there. Yeah. So that's sort of neat. Well, guys, one other question I really enjoy asking is, found out a little bit about your sports-wise. And this is the first time I've really met and I had a chance to talk with you guys. So if there was something, I know athletes are superstitious, okay? And I also know that sometimes you may have a hidden talent that not many people know about. And just meeting you guys, I'd be interested in knowing what that might be, whether it's poetry writing or bass fishing or whatever. You get the general idea there. So Carson, with that in mind, what could you tell me about you that might surprise me?
When I was little, I had kind of a group of friends that we thought like karate would be a fun thing to do. So like from ages about 7 to think 11, did karate and got a black belt. So
Really?
yes, sir.
So does that mean you could be a kung fu fighter?
In some sense, I guess I could be.
Well, hey, that's pretty neat. You're one of the guys we shouldn't mess with. I appreciate you telling me that.
Yes, sir.
Josh, how about you?
In my free time, I do a lot of trying to write music and songs and stuff like that, playing guitar and piano.
Really? All right. What style of music do you prefer?
Just some soft acoustic stuff for the most part.
Yeah, would that include country?
A little bit, yes,
A
sir.
little bit? Okay, that's neat. John Mark, how about you?
Well, I guess if I'm not playing baseball, I'm either riding a four-wheeler or hunting or fishing, so I mean.
Well, now that sounds all really good, but I imagine you would make the coach nervous if he saw you on four-wheelers, right? He don't need to see nothing like that. John, how about you?
I just like to hang out with my friends.
Do you?
Watch TV.
Yeah, so you one of these cool, easy guys, get
Yes,
along
sir.
with that kind of thing.
Yes, sir.
All right. When you seniors, Carson, where are you headed to college?
Going to Auburn to play football next year.
I'll pray for you. No, you can tell I'm a Bama fan. I don't mean that ugly. That's a great school to go to. What kind of courses you going to take?
I'm going to major in business. I'm going to go down this summer and take business calculus, my first class, and try to focus in marketing.
Okay, great. How about you, Josh? Where are you headed?
I'm going to Alabama next year.
Success written all over us. Okay. And what?
I'm going to be in the honors college there. I'm going to try to major in youth ministry studies, and then hopefully go to grad school at Vandy.
Oh, okay. And John Mark, now I know you've got a year away. You got any idea where you're going yet, or the offers haven't come in yet?
Not too sure yet.
Oh, you know, okay, well, not too sure is a popular college. But by the time that senior year rolls around, you'll get all that figured out. John, how about you?
Auburn.
Auburn?
Yes, sir.
Now, what kind of courses will you be taking?
I'm looking into business like Carson is, so something like finance or accounting.
Okay. Now, it's interesting, all you stripping athletes, nobody has said anything about maybe wanting to be like Coach there, be a teacher or a coach. Is that doesn't appeal to you guys? Now, not everybody can do it. I'm not saying anything bad about you. I'm just wondering, that thought never entered any of y'all's minds?
It has for me. I've considered it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you got a little of that in your blood, whether you ever go after it or not. After being coached a lot, sometimes you like to think, I could do that. I could help kids, that kind of deal. Well, guys, the last question I got to this point in your young lives, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? And we'll start with you, Carson.
As much as it's kind of the same answer for everybody, it's my parents. Just kind of been supporting me whatever I do, and especially with the whole college decision and baseball, just really kind of lean on them.
Well, good. How about you, Josh?
Definitely my stepdad, because when he and my mom got married, he took on a whole nother family and stuff, and so that's been really cool to see him put aside everything for him personally to do what's best for us as a family.
Let me tell you something. That's one of the nicest things I've heard a young athlete say about a stepdad. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. John Mark, how about you?
I have to say my brother. I've grown up playing with him on the same teams against him all my life, and he's gotten me to where I am now.
Okay, good. John?
My parents.
Well, good. Well, guys, I tell you what, the coach and I, we hope the same thing for you, that your best baseball hadn't been played yet, okay? But good luck the rest of the year, and I tell you what, win a state championship, we might come have you back up here to celebrate, okay?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, another coach, more athletes, don't you go away. We'll be right back.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm. Saved $760. Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Ted Townley in Homewood today.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The community features a world-class resort and spa. The amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course. Miles of historic trails. And the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, welcome back. Once again, as we talked about earlier, we're visiting with another very successful baseball coach here in the Birmingham-Jefferson County area. Of course, we're talking about Will Smith of the Spain Park Jags. Coach, always good to see you. And for people that might be seeing you for the first time or in a long time, tell us about your background, what's led you to be the head baseball coach there at Spain Park.
Well, I had an opportunity. I played college baseball at UAB, played 4 years there, and then I had an opportunity to play at the professional level for about 4.5 years. And then upon my retirement, I came back. I knew that I wanted to end up in the Birmingham area. And then Spain Park at that time was a relatively new school in 2003. And I had a good relationship with Casey Dunn. And so I served my first year as an assistant under Casey. And then, of course, the timing ended up working out perfect on my end. You know, I don't think that I was necessarily ready to be a head coach at 24, but like I said, it was an opportunity that I couldn't turn down when he left and went to Sanford. The opportunity to be the head coach at Spain Park, and I've been there now 13 years. This is my 13th year at Spain Park.
Well, I was going to say, my son-in-law went to UAB, was a catcher, Jay Jones.
I know Jay well, yeah.
Well, that's my son-in-law.
Yeah, Jay's a little bit older than I am.
Yeah,
so.
he's a few years.
That was my first group when Jay and Jeff Malden was there then. Those guys were juniors on that team my freshman year.
Matter of fact, him and Jeff are working. He helps Jeff with the varsity team there at Hewitt. We'll get him back now. We'll get back to your team a little bit. Tell us about this year's team. Is it where you want it to be? I don't think that any coach is ever totally satisfied with how his team's playing unless they're undefeated. But talk about your team and what you expect from this group, and are they headed in the direction you want them to head in?
Right. It's been we're 13 and 10 right now, and 10 of our losses, or 5 of our losses, we had the lead going into the 7th inning. So we always pride ourselves on playing a very difficult schedule, you know, in a preparation for area play. Right. So we've played a lot of really good teams. I mean, you look at the top 10 that came out last week. We've played the Sparkman, we've played Hoover, we've played Auburn, and of course our area, it'll be difficult itself. But you know, we really try to pride ourselves on, you know, peaking at the right time. You know, we got another week until spring break, and when spring break comes, you have the opportunity to play a lot of good opponents, and then the week after spring break leads into your area. So I think that we're playing well in phases. There's still things that we've got to clean up. We've got to be able to finish games that we have the lead in, but I think that we've got the right elements to have a successful team that can be successful in our area.
Well, and then talking about that, the makeup of your team, and of course baseball is no different from any other sport. I think that the ideal thing you'd want is a great pitching staff. That's where it all starts. If other teams can't score, you got a chance to win all your ball games, you know. But talk about your pitching, defense, and offense, those phases of this year's team.
Well, we lost our best guy that had been our best guy the past 2 years in Mason Duke, and that was a question mark for us. And so far, we've had 2 junior left-handers that have stepped up and thrown well for us at times. Will Battersby and Spitzer Graham, and then Hayden Freeman has also thrown well for us. And you know, so those guys have kind of filled the role that Mason left. And you know, if you're going to make any type of playoff run, you've got to have 3 guys, three quality guys, and we've got to find a way to piece together the 14 innings during the week that we play in area. But with those guys out there, those guys have given us a chance to win the games that they've started and pitched in. And you know, we've had some offensive production from some unexpected guys, some juniors. We've just got to get all 9 guys going at the same time. It seems like we'll have 2 or 3 going one week and then 2 or 3 cool off. And if we can find a way to match, get 6, 7 guys going at one time, I think we've got a chance to be fairly good, because the one thing that we do well is is that we're athletic and we've got a lot of guys in our lineup that can run.
Well, I tell you what, the one thing that I think every coach hopes for is this time of the season, that especially as you head toward your area games, as your team starts peaking at that time. It doesn't bother you so much. You want to win all your games, but if you're competitive, you play strong opponents like you say, the wins and losses, they'll come, they'll balance out, but the thing you want is the team to peak the closer you get to the playoffs. Do you see your team sort of heading in that direction?
I see it heading in a positive direction. You know, we've had our series of, it seemed like every quality opponent that we've played, we've split with. You know, so you win one game, lose one game, and you leave that night and going, did we improve? Well, you know, it's one of those things, one step forward, one step back, and I feel like that we are improving to the point where we're ready for the playoffs. I don't know, but I do feel like that we're improving each and every week, and that's, if we can use the next 2 weeks to get ready for the Mountain Brook series and improve the next 2 weeks, I like where we're at that time.
Talking about the young athletes, you've been in coaching a while now. Do your baseball players, are they primarily baseball players that participate in other sports, and sometimes the sports overlap a little bit? You don't have the full squad, or how's yours made up?
We do have a few football players that are on our team. The longer that I've been in this, the more that I see the kids, you know, start to specialize in one sport or another, and I'm not a proponent of that.
Right.
I want them to play as many things as possible. You know, I feel like that the more they're involved in sports, I think the sports carry over to the next sport.
Well, here's the thing too, and I can echo and back up what you said, because I've had surgeons sitting right there where you are, and we talk about sports injuries in particular. And with the baseball, it seems like the pitchers are the ones you worry about more than anything else. But the guys that play baseball year-round wear arms out, hurt arms, and it seems like all three sports, when we say three, we're talking about baseball, football, and basketball. You know how kids used to be three sports stars, where you were using all the muscles that your body had because the different sports did that. And the more I talk to these surgeons, it makes me think that golly, they say these kids are wearing their arms out way too early, pitchers and that kind of thing. So you're one of these, like you said, that you prefer or wouldn't have a problem with.
Absolutely. You know, the more they're involved. I went to a small high school, and you know, it was the athletes were at a minimum, so we all had to play all three, and it was a good change. You know, at each season you were kind of ready and excited for the next one, and you know, that's what I think kind of gets lost in the mix with the kid that specializes in one sport.
Well, I know you were talking about the fact just a moment ago that it seems like your kids are beginning to turn the corner just a little bit. And that's what every coach wants, because the corner we're talking about is the one where you're mentally and physically ready come playoff time.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, I tell you what, it's been good seeing you again. What we'll hope is your team peaks at the right time. You never can tell. There's teams that peak at the right time, win championships when they're not expected to. Maybe that could happen to you and your team.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. 5 young gentlemen that's been very instrumental in the outstanding season Spain Park's had thus far. We'll be right back. Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, welcome back. As you can see, I got 5 stripping athletes here that, not only that, pretty good baseball players, and play baseball for Spain Park. All these guys are seniors, and we don't have that happen many times. So 5 guys that's been around the program, and we'll start with the senior right here sitting closest to me, Brian Sanderson, second base outfield, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, and next to him, Drew Hawker, you a senior outfielder.
Yes, sir.
And beside me, Reed Thomas, senior, the catcher.
Yes, sir.
And next to him, Quentin Hoffman, a senior first baseman.
Yes, sir.
And finally, Hayden Freeman, senior outfielder. Okay, guys, going into this year, and we'll start with you, Brian, what were your expectations, not only for you personally, but for your team this year?
Well, to start out this year, our main goal is just to get to the playoffs after missing out last year, because that's what you play for, is to get in the playoffs to make a run. So that's pretty much what we're all working towards right now. Okay.
Now, Drew, one of the most important elements that a team has is team chemistry. If you guys like each other, get along well, have the same goals in mind, then you can be better not only as an individual or as a team. Talk about the chemistry or the makeup of this team.
Well, I mean, last year we didn't, unfortunately, miss the playoffs, but we had a lot of young guys start last year, so we kind of formed a bond together, and I think our team chemistry is pretty well, honestly, because we had a lot of returning starters, and I think we're ready to make a run.
When to Reed, I know this year's team has had a pretty good year thus far, but how do you feel? Do you think that you guys' best baseball is still ahead of you?
Absolutely. I feel absolutely our best baseball is ahead of us. I think our biggest thing, we just need to finish the game. You know, we play well, and we just need to finish. And I think if we do that, we can turn the corner.
Well, you know, the coach said something, and I picked up on it right away. He said, y'all lost a few games in the last inning. So if you could just put teams away, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I know you don't lose on purpose.
Right.
But if y'all could finish those games off, you'd be better off than you are right now. But you're still in a pretty good position. Quentin, with that thought in mind, do you feel like you and your teammates are sort of peaking as you get closer to area play and then hopefully the playoffs?
Yes, sir. It's been good seeing everyone grow, and just like working with these boys every day, you can see them get better. And I think we're right on the track that we need to be on. And if we keep hitting practices hard and playing in games like how we need to be playing and finishing, then we'll be ready come playoff time.
Now, Hayden, one question I like to ask, you've been in the baseball program a few years, I take it.
Yes, sir.
Who do you enjoy lacing them up and playing? And we're talking about baseball, of course. Who do you look forward to seeing mark that game on the schedule? I can't wait for that.
That'd probably have to be Hoover.
Really?
Yes, sir.
So, okay, yeah. I guess we have to look at them as big brothers, but you're really wanting to be on an even level, and so
Right, yes, sir.
that's the one y'all look forward to and work hardest at. Well, guys, this is the first time I've ever met you, and generally I know baseball players, athletes in particular, are superstitious. Or maybe y'all have some kind of hobby that it would surprise me if you told me about it. So that's what I want to know right now. And Brian, we'll start with you. What is it that I would find very interesting about you that you enjoy doing or not doing?
Well, before every game, I always have the same routine of the same way I warm up. I can't change that because I always, I'll feel like I messed something up if I don't do it. And I always do the same thing when I go to the plate.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Now, what kind of mannerisms do you have when you go to the plate?
Well, I tap the plate 3 times and I just swing back and forth until the pitcher.
Knock 3 times like somebody's going back door, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Drew, how about you?
Well, honestly, a lot of how I like to play is like preparing for the game, and I like to listen to a lot of the same music before the game. So if I have a certain playlist I like to listen to before the game, it gets me ready to play.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Primarily rap. I like
Rap?
I like Drake and Future. Honestly.
Yeah, okay. Well, you lost me when you said rap, so I guarantee you, I thought this guy looks like smooth country. You know. Reed, how about you?
Yes, sir. I mean, pre-game, listen to the same music. Always tape one wrist every game, no matter who we're playing.
Which one is it, left
Always
or right?
left. Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, on the count of being a chair. Let me ask you this. What kind of music do you listen to?
It depends on the mood before the game. It could be rap. It could be just something to calm me, give me focus.
Well, good.
It's a good range.
Well, whatever it is that works, Coach wants you to keep listening to it, because we want you calm and focused when we're playing, okay? Quentin, how about you?
Well, I always get some ranch seeds, and I put them in the same pocket in my bag, and I put everything in the same pocket in my bag. I have the bat facing the same way in my bag, and
if something's out of place,
right,
you all messed up, right?
And I bring it out, and I put it usually in the middle of the dugout, and Like Brian said, I have the same warm-up routine when I go up to bat and that kind of stuff. So.
Boy, y'all about as superstitious as any little group I've had in a while. Hayden, what do you
I have
do?
the same walk-up routine. I tap the plate twice, breathe.
Yeah, now that here, we don't want you to hold your breath. Okay. Well, guys, all of y'all being seniors, Brian, first of all, where will you be headed to college?
Well, I'm still deciding on that. Where I think we go play junior college baseball and try to go play at a 4-year school after that. So that's
okay. What if you can't be a professional baseball player one day, which would be nice if you could, but if you can't, what are you going to fall back on? What do you think you might like to do professionally?
Oh, I've always thought it'd be something in the business field. So that's pretty much what I've decided on. That's what I want to do in school and after.
Oh, okay. Well, you see that guy sitting over there? You ever had that niche to maybe coach?
I've thought about it a little bit, but I mean, I'm in high school, so
but
really.
Okay, Drew, how about you? Where are you going?
Well, this is probably my last year of baseball, as far as competitively speaking, so I'm going to go to the University of Alabama and either study law or somewhere in the business department.
Oh, okay. In other words, if I get in trouble with the law, I need to call you.
Right, yes, sir.
Okay. Reed, how about you?
Yes, sir. I'll probably be attending Center College to play baseball, and that's what I want to do, and hopefully from there go to a pre-med track and go to medical school.
Oh,
I want to be an
okay.
orthopedic surgeon.
So the coaching just it's not a lure for you, right?
It probably not.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. That's okay. What you want to do, that's great. We need doctors. Team doctor. No, I'm playing. Quentin, how about you?
I'll be going to Vanderbilt University and hopefully studying some chemical engineering and computer science.
Oh, okay. Well, that's terrific. Vandy's a pretty quality school.
Yes, sir.
You got to have it up here as well as, the athletic part. That's great. And I know all you guys are smart. Don't get me wrong. Hayden, how about you?
I've been blessed to go to Florida Southwestern. I was going to study architecture, so I could fall back on that.
Oh, okay. Well, I tell you what, guys, one thing that I always enjoy asking athletes in particular, baseball, is who's your favorite baseball player? Who would you like your game to be most like? And we'll start with you, Brian.
Well, I'd love to be like Bryce Harper, but...
Boy, you and me both. Yeah.
But really, I try and mold my game after someone like Jacoby Ellsbury. That's kind of what I base my swing off of.
Be a steady player day in and day out.
Yes,
how
sir.
about you, Drew?
Well, I've always worn number 13 for Alex Rodriguez, and he's always been my favorite player growing up, despite having controversial drug use.
Are you a big home run hitter?
Not usually, no, sir.
Okay,
Maybe in practice sometimes.
That's all right. Give him something to strive for. Reed?
Definitely Yadier Molina. He's just such a calming presence behind the plate. The way he's handled different pitchers throughout the years, he's one of the best ever.
Well, I tell you what, you guys that run that game behind the plate, there's more to y'all than me, Si. You see all the action. You got to make sure the pitcher stays in it and all that kind of stuff. I guarantee you the coaches really lean on you guys. Quentin, how about you?
Well, being from Minnesota, I was a huge Joe Mauer fan. He was in his prime.
Yeah, I can understand. That would be a pretty good ball player. Hayden, how about you?
I liked Manny Ramirez. I liked his pretty swing.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, if any of you guys were half as good as these guys are, y'all would have some fantastic careers.
Yes, sir.
So having said that, listening to y'all talk, y'all do good in school, okay?
Yes, sir.
But listen, guys, another thing I always enjoy asking young athletes to this point in your lives, who's been the most inspirational person to persons? And we'll start with you, Brian.
It's definitely going to be my dad. Just teach me how to live, not necessarily play baseball, but just how to live and be a man. That's really kind of what I try and model.
Okay. Drew, how about you?
Probably my brother. He was in the program just as I was beginning to get in the program, and he's taught me a lot about just the basic fundamentals of baseball and how to act at the varsity level, and I really appreciate what he's done for me.
Good for you. How about you, Reed?
Definitely have to say my mom. We went through a time, I moved here in 8th grade actually from a smaller rural town and just living in a house with her and my sister, so she's been a definite, a role model for me just through the years. So.
Well, great. Good for you. Quentin?
I have to go with my mom as well. She's definitely one to look up to, and she's great. So.
Well, I tell you, the one thing about that, most moms are. How about you, Hayden?
I have to go with my dad. He's a very hardworking man, wakes up early every morning, goes to work.
Well, I tell you what, guys, I'm only want to wish one thing for you as we head off. I hope your best baseball is still ahead of you, okay?
Appreciate it.
And some of those games that y'all lost in the last inning, we're going to win a few.
Yes,
and maybe
absolutely.
make some noise in that tournament,
Yes,
okay?
sir. Appreciate it.
Well, folks, we've had another great show, 2 outstanding coaches. We've had 9 outstanding athletes, and so we'll look forward to next week. The next time we see each other, you know what the snapper always says, bicycle.